I'm here with Cameron, and this week's topic we will be discussing substance abuse. So, first of all, I'd like to ask you if you think the topic is a taboo in today's society.
I would say for a lot of people, it is quite taboo. I mean, whether you're talking about alcohol or drugs or cigarettes, there's a lot of substances that you can abuse or become addicted to, and for some people it is tough to talk about. So it does end up being a taboo topic for a number of people.
Okay. And do you think in the past that it was more of a taboo or less of a taboo, or?
I think that in the past it has been slightly more in some cases, especially in the case of something like a substance like marijuana, which has been now legalized in a number of countries, including here in the Netherlands, obviously, that people are now more open to have these discussions.
Yeah.
And with people who abuse alcohol or drugs in general, there's a lot more help for them out there that's available than there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel as if the world is definitely progressing forward in that case.
Yeah, so you think it's a good thing that it's being discussed?
Yeah,
more
I think it is. I mean, realistically, it allows us to know, without it being so taboo, it allows us to know more about it.
Yeah.
And to understand the side effects and benefits
Yeah.
that go with it.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about the age restrictions, limits, whatever you want to call it, for alcohol, drugs?
I think most of them are pretty good at the moment. I think that the drinking age, should be changed slightly. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me in that respect. But especially to follow something more similar to Germany, in which you have beer and wine available at 16, because it allows young people to have an introduction
to slowly
into having alcohol. Or especially in the way I grew up, which was when I was at home with my family, especially coming from Scotland, it's acceptable from the age of about 15, 16 for you to start having a couple of drinks. Not necessarily getting drunk or going out and having drinks, but just having a couple of drinks at home with your family so that you're safe and you're understanding. Because the last thing you want to happen is to go out on your 18th, for example, and then have no experience with any of these substances. But I think in the case of cigarettes, hard alcohol, and drugs, I think 18 is more than acceptable. Yeah, I think that's a decent age restriction in the fact that we allow so much more to, like, you have so much more responsibility at that age, that if it should be your choice if you're willing to do so.
Do you think the fact that the age restriction is 18, that like younger people, like between 12 and 18, feel the need to like rebel and find it more find the idea of like drinking and doing drugs more exciting and attractive because it's restricted?
I do think so, especially in, for example, the Netherlands, in which you do have access to these things rather regularly. You do see a lot of younger people, especially drinking, smoking cigarettes, but also smoking weed, as from a younger age than you would expect. Now, I'm not necessarily saying I agree with that, but I'm saying the fact that with a change in the rules and the restrictions on how old you have to be in order to have these things, that maybe we could combat this and stop so many young people from starting up with this from such a young age.
Okay. Do you yourself believe there are any benefits to alcohol, drugs, etc.?
I feel that there are benefits, and there's also benefits and side effects. There's disadvantages and advantages to everything.
Okay.
I think that most of these things used on occasion recreationally don't cause any significant harm. Recreational use. I think that especially drinking, although there are people who do have issues with drinking, that it can be good for social gatherings, for events, etc. Going out and having a couple of drinks, not going out to get drunk, but going out to at least have a few drinks with friends is more than acceptable.
Yeah.
As for cigarettes, I don't see the need for them anymore. I mean, I don't understand it. It's something that I've never really gotten into and never understood. And then moving on to weed and other drugs, I feel that whilst there is some need for the use of medical marijuana, you know,
Yeah.
as a constant. Recreationally, it doesn't do from an older age. It doesn't do that much damage to you to the point where it should not be
Yeah.
allowed. But I definitely do agree that some harder drugs
Yeah.
can cause harm to you and should probably not be used recreationally. A one-off or a try at some point in your life. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm saying that constant use is
Yeah,
probably
that
not the
it's-
best choice for your life.
where it could go wrong.
Yeah.
Are you for the legalization of drugs?
I think the one thing that we should do is legalize all substances. Again, this is a topic that I have had many disagreements on and had many conversations about. But
I think I agree though.
my viewpoint of it is especially looking at how it's been done in the Netherlands in regards to weed, to legalize it and have it be regulated by the government, not or by a governing body, to which it's taxable, it's accessible without any harmful extra substances, and help is there if you need it. I mean, restricting people from having certain things, there will always be people who try and fill that void and go and sell these things.
Yeah.
There is always going to be, no matter which country you're in, you're always going to be able to, if you're looking for them, you're always going to be able to find these substances. So legalizing them, adding a tax would help with the economy. Having people having access to them without dangerous extra substances that are used. For example, with cocaine, it's cut quite often with quite dangerous chemicals to make it last longer so they can sell more.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily the cocaine that does the damage to you, it's more the other substances. So having access to them without that, at first I'm saying it would be quite a bad thing, as a lot of people rush out. But I think over time, once you get through that, the need and everyone will go, oh, well, I actually don't need to. And then also allow you to use that as a road into helping people deal with addiction issues.
Yeah. And also, I think what you mentioned, the availability of like help.
Yeah.
So that people, if it's legalized, that people feel that they can like seek help and they can speak to people about it. So that they don't have to like hide stuff.
Exactly. I mean, it offers up an open platform for people to be able to really seek the help that they need, whether it be mental, emotional, physical. It doesn't matter. But these are all aspects that can be affected by these substances.
Yeah. And do you think like substance abuse, that it's discussed at all at school? Or do you think it should be discussed more? Or
I think that substance abuse, it is mentioned a couple of times, especially at least for us. It has been mentioned a couple of times. There have been conversations about just mostly alcohol, which I totally agree with. I mean, I feel that for most people, if this isn't a conversation that you've had with your parents, then it is something you need to be able to go and have that conversation with somebody. And school offers a perfect platform for that.
Okay, so you think schools should?
I think schools should discuss it. I'm not saying that it should necessarily be a huge thing, but it also shouldn't be any like fear-mongering tactics to which they come in and they tell you all these horrible things. No, they should be honest about, okay, this is what it is, this is what it does to you, and this is how you get past it.
Yeah.
I think that about covers it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.